All right, let's talk about AI. For years, it's been this big buzzword, right? But what we're seeing now is a massive shift. It's moving from just a cool idea to becoming the actual central operating system for how modern businesses run. So let's dive right in.
And I really want to be clear about this right from the start. We're not just talking about some simple software update, like upgrading your phone. No, no. This is way bigger. It's a complete, fundamental rewiring of how companies think, how they operate, and ultimately how they compete.
And that's the scale we've got to think about here. I mean, think back to the big industrial revolutions. Steam power, electricity, those things completely changed what was possible, right? Well, that's exactly what AI is doing right now for the digital age. It's not just some nice-to-have accessory. It is the engine.
Okay, so how do we wrap our heads around a revolution this big? Well, first, we've got to look at the big picture. We need to understand why this is a strategic must-do for basically every business out there. We're talking about a move away from just, simple workflows to something much more powerful, the intelligent enterprise. And look, this isn't just some fluffy theoretical idea. The numbers are real. You've got firms like Accenture predicting a nearly 40%, 38% to be exact, boost in profitability for companies that go all in on AI. That's not just a small bump. For a lot of businesses, that's literally the difference between leading the pack and getting left in the dust. And that brings us to the core idea of what this intelligent enterprise actually is. Think of it like a new kind of partnership. The machines, the AI, they handle all the routine, repetitive stuff, the tasks that need incredible speed and precision. And what does that do? It frees up the humans, us, to focus on what we're really good at: innovation, creative problem solving, and big picture strategic thinking. It's basically a whole new division of labor for the 21st century. Okay, so we get the why now, right? It's a big deal. But let's get into the how. Where is this transformation actually taking place? Let's look at some real-world examples to see it in action. Customer service is probably one of the first places you'll notice this change, and we've moved way beyond those old, clunky Q&A bots. Now, thanks to something called natural language processing, which is just a fancy way of saying we're teaching computers to understand how humans actually talk, these new AI assistants can figure out a customer's intent, their tone, even their mood, and they can give you personalized help any time of day or night. The result? Happier customers, and of course, lower costs for the company. A great example is a company called AirHelp. They use AI to give travelers instant flight updates and sort out problems on the spot. Now, just think about that for a second. You're stuck at the airport, your flight's delayed, you're stressed. Getting an immediate, actually helpful response that doesn't just solve your problem, right? That builds some serious trust and loyalty with that brand. All right, let's switch gears to another huge part of any company, HR. We all know hiring can be, well, a real slog. It takes forever. AI is completely changing that game by automating all those early steps. Imagine it's scanning thousands of resumes in seconds to find the best fits, automatically answering all the common questions from applicants, and even scheduling the interviews. It just wipes out a ton of that administrative headache for the HR folks. Hilton is a perfect case study for this. They have an AI chatbot that handles all that initial back and forth with applicants. So what does that mean for their human HR team? It means they get to spend their time on the stuff that really matters, like having deep conversations with the best candidates and thinking strategically about things like company culture. Okay, now let's step out of the office and onto the factory floor. In manufacturing, AI is the absolute core of what people are calling Industry 4.0. Yeah, the fourth industrial revolution. You've got these AI-powered sensors that can literally predict when a machine is about to break down, which prevents these super expensive shutdowns. And at the same time, you have AI computer vision systems that can spot tiny microscopic defects on an assembly line, flaws that no human eye could ever hope to catch. Think about a place where precision is everything, like a BMW factory. They're using AI to inspect parts as they're being made, in real time, making sure every single piece is perfect. That level of quality control, done that fast, it was just physically impossible before now. So what's the common thread here? What connects all these different examples? It's the power of predictive intelligence. And the process is actually pretty elegant when you think about it. The AI takes in just massive amounts of data. It finds hidden patterns that we would never be able to spot. It turns those patterns into useful insights, and then, this is the magic part, it lets a business get ahead of problems, to be proactive instead of just constantly reacting.
Honestly, we see this every single day with a company like Amazon. Their AI is working 24/7, predicting which products are about to be popular, making sure they have enough in the warehouse. And yeah, it's also the magic behind those you might also like recommendations. It creates this super personal shopping experience that, let's be honest, gets us to buy more stuff and keeps us coming back.
So this all leads to the final piece of the puzzle, and you could argue it's the most important one. What about us? What about the people? With all this amazing automation, what happens to the human workforce? Well, the whole story is starting to change. It's shifting away from AI is going to replace everyone to AI is going to empower everyone.
And this really gets to the heart of it all. For a long time, the story was all about fear, right? AI was the substitute coming to take our jobs. But the new reality that's emerging is all about augmentation. It's not about replacement anymore. AI is becoming our collaborator, a tool that just makes us better at what we do. So what does that mean for our jobs? It means our roles are evolving. As AI handles all the boring, repetitive stuff, the skills that become incredibly valuable are the uniquely human ones. Big picture strategy, creative problem solving, real, empathetic connection with clients. I love this idea. AI automates the tasks, but it elevates the human. Here's a really powerful way to picture this. AI isn't just another tool you plug in. It's becoming the company's central nervous system. It can sense what's happening in the market, it processes all this information in a flash, and it helps the whole organization respond with the speed and agility that was never possible before. And that leaves us with a really big, critical question, doesn't it? If we're handing over the operational heavy lifting to the machines, what's left for us? Well, the new edge, the new competitive advantage, is going to come from human creativity, from our strategy, from our ingenuity. So the ultimate question really isn't about what the machines can do anymore. It's about what we, with our minds, will choose to do next.